Hello everybody, this is Steven with Crocodile Performance. Today I'm going to do an oil change on my Kawasaki Z H2. And here's my Kawasaki Z H2 with the factory black paint, all blacked out frame. Let me do a walk around. And because I'm an AMSOIL dealer, today this oil change is going to be done with AMSOIL's 100% synthetic metric motorcycle oil, 10W40. It holds 4.5 quarts, so I got a 1 gallon jug and a quart for the half. I'm going to be using a Kawasaki OEM oil filter, and there's the part number. And then these are going to be some of the tools I'm going to be using. This is I got this at a local auto parts store. It's an 8mm 15 flute oil filter wrench, a torque wrench, I got an 8mm socket with a ratchet, and then I got an H5 hex bit to remove some of the trim pieces. And then of course I got a pan to drain the oil into. Okay, let's get started. Okay, to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is drain the oil. And there's the bolt for the oil. And it's nice and low and easy to access. But unfortunately, the oil filter is blocked by this bracket right here. The first thing we have to do is remove that bracket. And to remove that bracket, I'm going to have to remove this side trim piece right here to have full access to the oil filter. So I'll do that now. As you can see, I removed that trim piece and I put the bolts back in place so that I don't lose them and I keep them in the correct order. Okay, the last step is to remove the bolt for that bracket that's on the opposite side. So I'm removing it. Okay, and now the bracket's out of the way. I'm going to set it here in the same orientation that I pulled it out from. And I'm going to leave that bolt in place so I don't lose it. So now, as you can see, we have full access to do the oil change. As you can see, I got the oil pan ready and I got my ratchet ready. So now I'm going to crack this bolt loose. Okay, I got it started. I'm gonna get my pan ready. And then remove the bolt and let the oil drain out. Okay, don't forget, if your washer stays stuck, don't forget to take it off so it doesn't get lost. I'm going to put it right back on the bolt and set the bolt and washer off to the side so it's ready to go. And I'm going to wait until the oil finishes draining, and then I'm going to move on to the oil filter. Okay, the oil's just about finished draining, so I'm going to let it drain slowly to get every last drop out. And while it's dripping, I'm going to remove the oil filter. So I'm going to attach my oil filter wrench, and I'm going to use the ratchet to tap it on. So, to make sure it's fully seated. Okay, so I'm going to attach my ratchet to the oil filter wrench and start to break this thing loose. Okay, now I can remove the ratchet and take the oil filter out with the oil filter wrench still attached. Okay, I'm gonna hold the oil filter and let it drip, and then hold it upright so that it doesn't get oil all over the place. So now the oil filter is removed. There's still some oil draining from where the oil filter was and out of the drains, out of the lower drain. So I'm going to let it drip until there's only a few drops. Okay, we're down to just a few drops on the oil, as you can see. And whenever I do an oil change, I like to empty out this reservoir. There's a hose that goes all the way up to the air intake. And if there's any moisture or oil in the air intake, it drains down and gets captured in this reservoir. So you need to empty it out every once in a while. I like to do it when I change my oil. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, as you can see, the reservoir has been drained. I wiped it down around the outside, so it'll be good for till the next oil change. Okay, the oil is pretty much dripped out. So the next step is going to be adding some oil, a little bit of oil to the oil filter so it doesn't start dry. You know, you want to have a little bit of oil in there so it doesn't take so long whenever you first start it up after doing the oil change. So let's do that next. Okay, I got the 1 gallon jug. Because the gallon jug is so heavy, it's kind of hard to pour a little bit of oil into the small opening. So I just got a cup. Just poured a little bit of oil in there. Because this oil filter is installed horizontally, I can't fill it all the way up or else it's going to spill out as soon as I try to install it. So I'm going to probably do it about a third of the way to maybe about halfway. Just pour it in and let it soak into the pleats. And you can see the oil level slowly going down because it's being absorbed into the pleats of the media. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and so it's not completely full, just enough to saturate the media in there. Okay, I got some oil inside the oil filter. I attached my oil filter wrench to the bottom of the oil filter, and it holds it in there nice and snug. So now I'm going to go in and get it started by hand, so I can make sure I'm not cross threading. You know, give it a chance to get the thread started, and then sink it down as much as I can. One nice thing about this Kawasaki oil filter is that it comes pre-lubricated from the factory out of the box, so you don't have to add any oil around the seal. Okay, so it's in place now. So the next step is to torque down the. Okay, I have my owner's manual here, and I can see that the oil drain bolt is going to be 18 foot-pounds and the oil filter is going to be 13 foot-pounds. So the next step is to attach my torque wrench to the oil filter wrench and torque it down to factory spec, which I'm going to do now. Okay, I have my torque wrench set, and I'm going to start tightening down the oil filter. And I'm going to go slow and take my time. There's no rush. I'm going to keep going until it clicks. Okay, it's starting to get tight. And there we go. Do it a few times just to make sure. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Okay, the next step is to install the drain bolt and then torque it down to factory spec also. And so take off the torque wrench, and I'm gonna have to remove that adapter right there. Okay, so I'm gonna get my drain bolt to make sure the washers still have the washer. Go ahead and install it and get it started by hand. And then go down as much as I can by hand. Okay, I have my torque wrench set to the 18 foot-pounds from my manual, and now I'm going to torque down the oil drain bolt to factory spec, and there, perfect right there. Okay, remove this out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down this area. Okay, the next step is to fill up the oil. Okay, I'm on the opposite side of the motorcycle now, and this is the oil fill cap right here. So I'm gonna take it off. Just set it up here for temporary. And I have my oil funnel. I'm gonna get it set up. And then I'm gonna pour the remaining oil out of this 1 gallon jug. And then since it takes 4.5 quarts, I have another quart right there. I'm just gonna measure out half of the bottle and then pour it in. And then we'll move on to the next step. So as you can see, I measured out the remaining half a quart, and I'm gonna pour the last bit of oil that it needs right here. Okay, now it should be topped off. Okay, the next step is to remove my funnel. And then put the cap back on. Okay, now the final step is to reinstall that bracket and that trim piece. And then I'm going to push the bike out, let it run for about a minute to about 30 seconds to a minute, and then shut it off, and then check the oil level. You can see right now, well, there's no oil right now because the bike is leaned over, but once the bike is upright after I start it and let it cool down for a little bit, I'll check the oil level. Okay, as you guys can see, I got the bracket and the trim piece reinstalled, and then I got the bike pushed outside. So now I'm going to turn it on to let the oil circulate. So let's hear how it sounds. The bike sounds really nice and smooth. So next step, I'm gonna let all the oil drip down, and then I'm gonna push it back into the garage and check the oil level. Okay, as you can see, the oil level looks good. It's right in the middle of the sight glass. I measured in the exact amount, so I figured it would be just right. And that's it. The oil change is done. Okay, this concludes the oil change on my motorcycle. I'm using the AMSOIL 100% synthetic metric motorcycle oil 10W40 for this particular model. And check the link in my description for a link to the AMSOIL products that I use on my ZH2 and to my AMSOIL dealer page. I'm an AMSOIL independent dealer. And one last thing before we leave is this is another AMSOIL product that I highly recommend for motorcycles. This is a motorcycle octane boost, and since I've tuned this bike and is being pushed to the edge, I can definitely tell that this octane booster helps. And this octane booster also is a cleaner too, so it'll boost the octane and keep your fuel system cleaned. So check the link in my description for this product too. I highly recommend it. Hey guys, this is Steven with Crocodile Performance. This is it for today. Please like this video and subscribe if you like my channel. Until next time, thank you.